It's still very cold outside. Nobody stole my rental truck. No, I'm beginning to fall in love with that truck. It's such a nice vehicle, can go anywhere. When I was doing that wildlife photography shoot, like there was, I don't know, 2.5 feet of snow at one point, right on the road, maybe 20 feet long, like a stretch. I thought I would get stuck. But I stopped for a second, switch on 4x4, and this thing just plowed through like there's no tomorrow. So I'm sitting behind my computer, my fancy computer, and harvesting my old files with the contacts. Yesterday I went through 2018 folder where all my loads are for 2018, and I collected about 18 names, so got some solid leads, you know. Basically I'm not gonna do any cold calling unless somebody puts a gun to my head, so it's all gonna be by email. And then this morning I started on 2019 folder, and I saw an email from a trailer manufacturer, like I wanted to say here, but no, in Ontario. And I'm on the mailing list, and once in a while they send me messages, you know, basically urging me to buy one of their, you know, trailers. And they make RGN, step decks, flatbeds, local Canadian manufacturer. And actually, it's like a family-run business. And just on an impulse, I emailed them. I said, hey, you guys ever ship your trailers to different, you know, provinces and states? Because now I'm a freight agent, and I was wondering if I can help you, you know, finding a truck. And within 5 minutes, I had an email from the lady in the office, and she said, yeah, sure, put us on in your database. You know, so it's all, you see, by email. But it was a warm contact, right? It was somebody, like I talked to them on the phone a couple of times before. You know, we were talking about trailers when I wanted to do some modifications to my 60-ton RGN. I wanted to add, you know, like a deck extension or something like that. And I remember I talked to them. So anyway, so that's how you get leads, right? And then of course there's always Google. But the weather, I have a list here what I want to cover. So the weather here, it's a bit crazy, you know, because of the mountains, because of the proximity of the mountains. Like for example, yesterday and today it's minus 17 Celsius. Which is 1F. And by the end of the week, Friday, is going to be minus 1 Celsius or 30F, which doesn't make much sense, but so it turns out that's what Calgary is all about. It's like up and down, it's like crazy swings of weather, probably sometimes even a few times a day, but like from minus 17 to minus 1, or from 1F to 30F in 5 days, you know, that's not something that I'm used to, but I think it's going to be fun. So probably, I'm guessing in January, one day we can be walking around in shorts and t-shirts, like this cool quick dry t-shirt I got when I was planning my Costa Rica vacation. Very nice t-shirts. So one day we're walking around in shorts and t-shirts, and the next day we have to put on 2 pairs of gloves, 3 winter hats and winter coat, some snow boots. So yeah, but it's fine, since, you know, even yesterday I grabbed my Nordic poles and I went for a walk in the snow. It was still snowy, minus 17. I did 2.5 clicks, 2.5 kilometers, and even with this thick gloves, by the time I was back at my building, my fingers started freezing, you know. But it took me probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I like these hiking poles. You know, they don't take any space in the apartment, in the office, and they're so easy to use and give you good solid workout. And I still have to use, I have that weight vest, right? I can put a weighted vest under the coat or over the coat to add like 30, anywhere from 4 to 70 pounds. Right now I think it's set up for 30 pounds, and I still have a bunch of extra weights I can add. So that really, you know, gives you a solid workout. It's kind of like carrying a heavy weight on your back, you know, kind of like soldiers when they go for training, like hiking in the woods with like 80 pounds on your back. So that's what I got for training. And then of course I have my kettlebells, and I did some quick exercises this morning with 2 of my plates and a kettlebell. I feel good. Now I'm having some herbal tea. Something happened recently. I cannot drink caffeine. As soon as I drink something with caffeine, even tea, it gives me problems, you know. So I'm switching to herbal tea for now. See, but usually it's like swings up and down. Like one day I can drink 3 coffees in a day and nothing, and then 2 months later I drink a small coffee and I have some palpitations, you know, some bad feelings in the chest, you know. So I switch to herbal tea, and then let's say 2 weeks later everything is good to go back to coffee. So it's like a wave, you know, like your body tells you, hold on, you know, put a lid on this for now. It always happens when I'm trying to record something, when I put it on airplane mode. So yeah, so that's about the weather. So the weather can be pretty bad over here, but yeah, I don't think it's good for you when it swings like that. But you get used to it. But I definitely don't remember weather like this when I was growing up in Russia, you know, up and down. But it's probably happening everywhere now because of all these, you know, weather changes, right? So second news, the Hellcat is still coming. Nothing has changed. I'm still going to be one crazy owner of one of the last available Dodge Hellcat Challengers. So two-door vehicle with a 6.2 liter Hemi, supercharged. I believe it's 717 horsepower. But again, I'm not going to drive it in winter. It's only going to be my warm weather vehicle. I still have to figure out what to do in winter. Maybe buy some kind of like a junker, you know, but we'll see. And I talked to the dealer. I said, can you help me register it, you know? Since, you know, for a dealer it's much faster, because I go to this registry office. It takes like an hour, you know, to do any changes. And they said, yeah, sure. So they said, oh, just when you're here to pick up the car, just bring us the plate that I took off the Charger and confirmation of insurance. And they said they can even change my insurance. Maybe I can do it myself. And speaking about the registry, I got my temporary license, which was like a piece of paper, driver's license, like 10 days ago. And they said the driver's license is coming in the mail shortly. And I just got my permanent license. It doesn't look, so this is my permanent license, this is my temporary license. And the permanent license, I checked to make sure there's no mistakes, and it looks like American license, you know. It doesn't look nothing at all like the one I had from Ontario, because all the fields are different, and your date of birth is prominently displayed in the middle, and then again it shows in the bottom left corner. But very cool. And now this one expires in 28. I don't know when my next medical is, but because it's a regular license, class 5, So I cannot drive a truck. I can only drive a car or a pickup truck. That's why now the requirements are so much easier, you know, with the trucker license. At least in Ontario, there was medicals every 3 years. And I think license was good for 5 years only. So like these regular licenses, they of course they last much longer. Basically, one less headache to deal with. And then what I found with this new apartment is that banks like it when you own something. You know, when you're not renting, when you own. So I started getting some offers in the mail, even, you know, some new credit cards got approved for a couple, so it's all good. Just because, you know, I gotta rebuild my cash flow, so I'm gonna use some credit cards to help me stay afloat. And well, I'm getting closer to signing up with my friend's company, a big logistics provider, like a brokerage. So I'm gonna be a sub-agent under him, and he's the agent with the broker. And that will help me, you know, learn the ropes of this logistics business. But I did go, even though I'm not gonna operate under my name, under my company name, but I did went back to the registry and I registered my own company, like a sole proprietor. So, and then this morning I was trying to see if I can, you know, add myself to Google Maps. And Google says, hey, you want to register a domain with your company name? I said, yeah, sure. It's Canadian 17 bucks a year. So I did that, and then they say, how about a custom email, you know, with your domain name in the back? And it really looks nice. And so I said, yeah, sure. So now, but mostly I'll be using this for my communication with my buddy, who basically is hiring me, like the agent, right? And he'll be paying this company because I'll be paid by him, not by the big brokerage. And so I'm gonna probably go and talk to my bank to let them use the company name. Like I had this in at my different bank. When they gave me checks, I said, can you please add this name, like Sergei Dratchev Heavy Haul, after my name? And they can do that, you know, because it's a sole proprietor. And so I'm gonna do that with my new bank, where my mortgage is. And just tell them to add, just gonna take this piece of paper, a registered trade name statement, and say, just give me some checks. Actually, I don't need checks. I never use them. But I'll just tell them to add this so that people can pay me to this name, not just my name, but to the trade name I registered. And so now I have a new domain, new trade name, a new email I'm going to use for business with my friend again. But when I'm talking to customers, you know, of course I got to use their email. So they're going to assign me an email address with their domain name. So for official purposes, that's what I'm going to use. But for initial, maybe like prowl of customers, maybe some of my old customers, I can probably still use my my new email address. So that's pretty cool. And I'm guessing that's all. Look at my list. Yeah, so probably today, oh, and what's happening today, I'm stuck here, cannot leave because something happened with my TV desk. It was supposed to come yesterday. Like a fool, I spent pretty much all day until 3 o'clock here waiting for the desk. And after that, I went for that walk, 2.5 clicks. And when I try to look up UPS, the UPS tracking number, the Best Buy gave me, nothing shows up. You know, it shows there, it says label created on November 2nd, but it says delivery date will be supplied when we know it. So the Best Buy says delivery November 7th. UPS says delivery date is not yet established. And so I went to Best Buy website, and it says there, you know, if you have a problem with delivery. So I said, yeah, not received. And they give you an option of contacting the seller. And Best Buy says, and you don't see any links to the support, you know, like you cannot contact Best Buy support because it was like marketplace, you know, like the piece I bought is through Best Buy, but the seller is not Best Buy, it's a different company, right? And so it's shipped by them, and of course it's always much slower. There's problems like this where nobody knows what's going on, and Best Buy says, just, you can send them a message. Click here to send a message to the seller. And so I sent him a message. I said, I don't see my shipment. Was supposed to be here November 7th. UPS doesn't show any information. What's going on? Can you guys let me know when I can expect this? And so this morning I got an email saying that, yeah, everything is good. They said we're going to reach out to UPS. And then I checked UPS again, and now it says November 8th. Delivery by the end of day, and it's out for delivery. And that's what it says. Yeah, Tuesday, November 8th by end of day. So I hope I don't have to sit here all day because I want to go out. Stopped snowing finally. Because I really want to get a bed. So I'm going to go to IKEA Canada, and get a cheap bed frame. And then I'm gonna go to Brick Mattress. I buy myself a fancy mattress. And then I have to go probably to Walmart, get some sheets, a nice blanket, couple of pillows. And then after that, I still have an empty space here in front of the TV. So I need to get something to watch TV on from. And speaking about TV, I've been binge watching The Man in High Castle. That movie just drives me nuts. I love it. So The Man in High Castle, guys, check it out. It's like amazing. It's based on a book, and you add a popular book. You take a popular book and then you add the famous director and producer, and you throw in some, you know, handsome and pretty actors and actresses. And so I finished season 1, season 2, now I'm season 3, just basically binge watching. Makes my eyes tired, but my TV, it's like 4K HD TV, right? So it's pretty good. So yeah, that's what I've been doing with my free time when the weather's bad. Okay, so let me get back to, let me call my friend who was trying to call me as I was recording this blockbuster. And after that, I'm gonna get back to browsing through my 2019 loads. And so hopefully by the end of the week, I'll finish all the loads, and then I'm gonna add them to that mailing website I used before that allows you to send out kind of like emails where, you know, the address will only show that person or that company. It's not going to show some crazy 40, 60 addresses, you know, like how some novices do it, right? So you want to look at, you want to make it look professional, and so they have an option to unsubscribe at the bottom there, and it's a free service. I found this website, actually was suggested by a friend of mine a couple of years ago. And so once I harvest all these addresses, and what I do is I just open a text file, and I just add all this, like a company name and email address, to the text file, first for 2018, then 2019. And once I have all these years done, then I'm going to open that mailing website, and I'm going to create a database of shippers. And then I can send out, you know, like with the click of a button, I can send out a note to all these shippers. Let's say, hey, you know, just to introduce myself, used to be a trucker, you know, now I'm freight agent, would love to give you a quote, especially if you need to move some equipment and machinery, because that's the main goal of this little operation, is to specialize in heavy equipment, heavy machinery, maybe some farm equipment, but basically I'm going to be okay with, let's say, occasional flatbed trailer or step deck trailer, but the main focus is equipment and machinery, because that's what I know as a former trucker. So that's what I want to specialize in. Some people don't believe in specialization, but I'm a big believer. And so I'm not going to do some crazy reefers where I don't know anything about them. So heavy equipment and machinery, that's what I want to be, known for. So hopefully by the end of this week, I'm going to sign up with the company and start working as broker, and big bucks will start pouring in. Maybe within the first 3 months, I'm guessing, because it's not gonna happen like this. So I need patience, which I have plenty. Ciao.